Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Move Right Mondays. I'm Dr. Steve Stoller, Fundamental Health Solutions. And we try to teach people to think right, eat right, move right, and live right. We're in this series right now where we're going through these fundamental movements, these 7 core fundamental movements that every human should have. But a question's come up. Steve, what if I don't have those sticks that you've been using? What can I do? Well, first of all, I encourage you to check out Stick Mobility. I think they're a great company, and when I took the certification, I thought these were some of the most knowledgeable people, and this is an incredible tool. But I understand not everybody is able to get them, or they want to practice before, but I would just remind you that it's super important to have the right type of gear when you're doing these kinds of equipment. There's a lot of science that goes into this, whether it's the grips or the flexibility of the tube. So I would call them and give it a check out. But if you're not quite committed to it yet and you're wondering what can I do around the house, Home Depot will have PVC pipe. And you could get various lengths of PVC pipe, 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, to perform these exercises. You could put some duct tape around the ends, and that would be a form that you could start with, decide if it was worthwhile for you to continue. But I would tell you that these kinds of things are important to have the right kind of gear. So today's exercise that we're going to work on is the twist, or in this case, thoracic rotation. It's a personal struggle for me, so I'll share that with you. And I'm going to start off by working on my knees. Now you can do it standing and you can do it in the lunge position, but I find that if I really want to work on my pelvic stability and I want to work on my thoracic mobility and I want to do it safely, I'm going to do it from the tall kneeling position. It's going to help with my hips as well. I encourage you to do it the same way, but of course you can do it from a standing position as well. So in this case, I'm going to start with the left knee down and the right foot up. This is going to protect my lower back and put me in a lumbar lock position, and it's going to challenge my stability in the lower body, which will really test my thoracic mobility. I have the small stick here. This is a 4-inch or 4-foot stick, and I'm just going to reach out. Now what you're going to notice is there's a lot of stuff going on the bottom that most people don't pay attention to. The back toe is bent. That's really important. The toe is bent and pushing down. The left hip, the down hip, is tucked, and the right foot is actually pushing into the back hip so that I can feel the left glute is engaged. Now this is going to open up this anterior hip, which you might feel, depending on your flexibility, more strain in the front of your thigh and more stretch in the front of your thigh than you actually do in the thoracic spine. And that's okay. That's okay, because sometimes we have to work this before we can get that. Everything starts from the ground up. So once you've got your toe tucked, hip flexed, foot pressing into it, and your core stability's on, then you can reach out with a stick. Your hands are about shoulder width apart, and we want you to pull apart with your hands. Now I'm not bending my elbows, I'm just pulling apart. So they're in a straight line, and this fires up my posterior chain on my thoracic spine from fingertip to fingertip. And then simply I can twist, keeping the arms straight, pulling apart to the right. Then I squeeze my hands together to fire the anterior chain and bring it back to the center. Again, I can pull apart and twist with my arms pulling apart. Squeeze, come back to the center. Let me show you it again. Pull apart, twist, go back to the right. You can keep your head forward or you can turn it behind. Squeeze, come back, pull apart, twist, look, squeeze, come back. Any variation of those is really good. But if you do it on one side, you're going to ultimately want to do it on the other. Now you have to remember, there's a lot of things that's going on there. There's lower body stability, there's core stability, but there's also thoracic rotation. It's a great movement that every human is required to have. But let's say I want to do it a little bit differently. This time I'm going to switch. I'm going to have my right toe tucked under, my right knee into the ground, pelvis tucked, my left knee up with the foot pushing back, so I've got a stretch and alignment on that right knee and thigh. Now I have a bigger stick, okay? And I bring it right across my chest. Let's say I want to get some activation into that back line. Again, I can pull that stick back and now my back core is fired. The rotation is still the same. It's just the application is a little bit different. Again, we can twist to the right and pull back. Again, this challenges our stability. It actually provides mobility to my right hip and it turns on my back core. Back to the center, twist to the left. Back to the center, twist to the right, pull the back, bend the stick, back to the center, twist, bend. One of the things that likes to happen is the knee likes to turn out. Try to keep the base stable. But wait, what if I want to try it one more time? Well, now I'll switch back to the left leg down, right leg up, and now I can put it behind my back. My palms are facing forward, my back toe is tucked, I'm in my low tuck in the pelvis, my core is on, and I can twist with the left hand coming forward and back, the right hand coming forward. I can keep it there. I can turn and look at my back hand. I can look at my front hand. So now I'm getting some cervical range of motion. Trying to separate my head from my neck, my thoracic spine from my hips and pelvis, providing the mobility and the stability that's required to be an optimal functioning human. Thanks for joining us in Move Right Mondays. Keep up the good work.